That's not right. They shouldn't put old breeding on cases when he can't write medicine that people need to be treated with. Because you know what ends up happening? He sees them and he bills them. And then they have to leave him and go see somebody else because he can't treat them. He can't write them what they need. But you better believe he billed them for that visit. Oh, you better believe it. We've had some people come forward about old Doc Breeden, about how many patients he tries to keep. That one of the patterns that he has is that he tries to have so many patients, and he'll just book his days so full of patients that he can't possibly see them all and treat them all. I had a girl tell me just last week, a former co-worker of Mr. Breedings, or Doc Breedings, I guess you should say. And she said he would go in, turn around, and come out. So many. I mean, of course, I'm sure he didn't do everybody that way. But I call it filler clients, filler patients. So you've got some that you would end up seeing for a longer period of time that maybe have more complicated medical problems. But from what she said, he would just walk in, say hi, turn around, and walk out. And then one of the things that a lot of them were very familiar and aware of that he allegedly liked to do for a long time. This is long time practice now, y'all. This ain't something that just happened here or there. No, 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 no. This is long time practice. So if you had any kind of investigators worth their salt, they could go in and blow this stuff through the roof. There's proof out the yin yang of all of it. All they got to do is pull the records. Well, we know that they filed or they served search warrants at MCHC and several other places and neighboring counties. They served search warrants that I know of for Van Breeding, Matt Breeding, and supposedly Jerome Hatton. Now, Jerome Hatton used to work, unless he still does, I don't know. I had a hard time keeping them straight because there's Jerome Hatton and there's Jonathan Hatton, who are Jamie Hatton and Angie Hatton's brother and cousin, I think. But regardless, they're all related. They're everyone related. And, you know, they keep it in the family. Keep it in the family. So Jerome Hatton, I think, worked at the funeral home, at the Everidge Funeral Home down in Whitesburg, which is right next door. Guess it, guess it, guess it. Oh, let me get down here and use it. Right next door to Jamie Hatton and his prosecutor office, his county attorney office. Jamie Hatton, you know, the one that sits in on every single fiscal court meeting. You'd think that he would have had at least something to say about Ben Fields' fiasco house arrest scheme as the prosecutor, don't you think? Don't you think? Nope. All right, let's see who's on his board of directors for this year. If it tells. Nope. Supplies. Here we go. Return a supplemental form. So he added a supplemental form. I wonder why. Supplies, $2,556. I wonder what kind of supplies he used. Other expenses, labor, $1,665. Other expenses, bank charges, $62. Department of Treasury, IRS service, e-file. I wonder if he had to fix that for some reason. Facts and circumstances test. I don't know what that is. Well, I didn't see anywhere on here where it tells the board of directors like it did on 2018, unless I passed it up. Let's see. Public support. I guess that's for the 2 years combined. Reason for public charity status. It's an organization that normally receives a substantial part of its support from a governmental unit or from the general public, described in section 170. So that's interesting. The top one says a church, convention of churches, or association of church, but he doesn't have his 501c3 status as a church. Do you guys see that? Do you see that? He doesn't have this. It says ministries. Wouldn't you think that it would be a church? But he doesn't have the church checked. That's the top one. You see? It says a church, a convention of churches, or association of churches. Why does he not have that one checked? No, the one that he has checked says it's an organization that normally receives a substantial part of its support from a governmental unit or from the general public. I think that's very interesting that he calls it a ministries, Michael Clark Ministries, but he doesn't have it checked as a church. He has it checked as, hey, I can get money from the government or just from anonymous donors who could come from anybody. I think that is fascinating. I think that is fascinating that his 501c3 nonprofit ministry is not even registered as a church. Wow. So I guess he's saying it's secular. I guess he's meaning that his ministry is secular. Is that even possible? Is that even possible? See, you know what? He could actually get money probably through grants, because he doesn't have that checked as a church. I bet, and you know as well as I do, when he set this up, he knew what he was doing. That's Tim Robinson. And SOAR is who I'm telling you guys. SOAR was Hal Rogers' baby that they turned in, they weaponized it to take every penny of federal funding they could get into this area. But where's it at? Has any of it went to better the people of this area, or has it went to fund so many salaries for certain small group of people? That just, I don't know why. Like, do you see why I couldn't be a lawyer? There's no way I could get in a courtroom. I would end up in jail for contempt of court every time I turned around. Every time I turned around. Okay, now here it is. It says complete this table of the organization's 5 highest compensated employees, but he had none. So none. He must have learned. He got him some experience from the year before. Total program service expenses. I mean, well, what did he spend it on? I'd like to know what he spent it on. All right. And so that's 2019. 2020. He's gotten a little bit more and a little bit more every year. All right, $7,194 this time. Other expenses. Look, he's learning. $6,147. Those were his expenses. So that just left him with $1,047. End of year. So he ended his year with $2,674. So that shows right there that he was able to even save some money through the year. It only cost him, what, about $5,000 for the whole year. But I don't know whether I'm supposed to call it a church or not. It's not registered as a church. Let's see. Now he's got him some people back. Same people. Michael Clark, Dave Hammond, Matilda Eberman. Y'all Google Matilda Eberman. Who is she? Let's find out. Google Christopher Hogue. Let's find out who Chris Hogue is. I know who it is, but Google for me, please. He's got $10 back, or 10 hours a week back in there for 2020. And remember, that was the year of COVID. We've managed to keep his CPA. He's still an organization that gets most of their money from a governmental unit or from the general public. Gifts, 5,355, 6,000, 20,000, 27,000. All right.